So what is going on, guys? It is Oscar here, joined by Callum, and yes, earlier yesterday, may have even been today, depending on where you are in the world, Uncharted 4 went gold in terms of its development. That means that it is finished, it's going to be printed on the discs, it's also going to be manufactured in terms of put on the PS4, or etc, etc. Literally, it's just being taken away from Naughty Dog, putting on all the discs, etc, and being ready to be sold to all of us, who are very excited for Uncharted 4, of course. So that basically means that
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not excited.
I'm
not excited. No.
What is this game? Never heard of it. Anyway, Uncharted 4, of course, is now finished with Naughty Dog anyway, and if you were on Twitter yesterday, you saw a lot of the reactions from the developers and also Naughty Dog themselves. So let's get straight into it, of course. Let's look at what some of the developers were saying about it. So, Naughty Dog themselves tweeted out, very glad to say, hashtag Uncharted 4 has gone gold today. Congrats to the team. And also, along with that, there was a little photo showing what Uncharted 4 is going to look like on the PS4 menu. Looks pretty cool, actually. It was kind of the expected kind of icon that I was kind of thinking of. Pretty much just Nate with Uncharted 4 logo. So yeah, that's pretty standard, but that's what it's going to look like on your PS4, which is pretty cool. Moving on to Neil Druckmann, who of course is the creative director and the writer of Uncharted 4. Every journey must come to an end, hashtag gold, hashtag Uncharted 4, and he's holding up a Blu-ray disc which is going to be sent off to Sony Computer Entertainment America with U4 and just a few other things that I don't really understand, if I'm honest, but yeah.
I don't think anyone outside of the
obviously
gaming
it says 17th of March 2016, so that's obviously when it was sent off. I don't know what RC15 means. I don't know if anyone else has got any ideas.
Recommended certificate, I think.
Oh, could be. Could be, although in America they have like the ESRB ratings, which is just like teen, but yeah. I don't know, maybe it is thinking of it from like a movie perspective, I don't know. But there you go, that's what it says on that disc, so that's pretty cool. If you've ever got any other ideas of what RC15 means, then leave it in the comments, of course, because at the moment I've got no idea. But there you go, that was the disc from being sent off to Sony. Moving on to Bruce Straley, who of course is the game director at Naughty Dog, and he is the he says, pencils down, a thief's ended, I can't wait for you guys to play what I think is the best Uncharted of them all, hashtag gold, hashtag Uncharted 4, and he also followed that up with, I can't wait for you guys to see what I think, keywords I think, is the most visually stunning game ever created, hashtag gold, hashtag Uncharted 4. So yeah, very promising words there, suggesting it could be one of the best best visual games, I suppose, ever created, which is pretty insane. When you think about it, it's on a PS4. People are very much like, oh yeah, PC Master Race, etc, etc. But we've played Uncharted 4 in terms of the multiplayer beta, and it looks pretty insane, and we've seen obviously all the gameplay. So
exactly, definitely,
there's definite possibility that it looks incredible, and obviously when we play the game, we'll find out. So. Moving on to Evan Wells, who of course is the co-president at Naughty Dog. He pretty much tweeted, lots of emotion as it ends, 10 plus years of hard work and talent into a franchise. Congrats dogs, hashtag gold, hashtag Uncharted 4. And you can also see when it looks like it was built in terms of like the final build of the game. It was on March 17th, 2016 at around 4:25 PM, just in case you wanted to know. There you go. And moving on. Finally, onto the other co-president of Naughty Dog, Christoph Ballester, of course. He tweeted out, and this is the quite interesting thing I did actually want to pick up on in terms of how big Uncharted 4 is, in terms of gigabytes. Our best work with Uncharted is getting its own wings. We uploaded our final disc yesterday. Uncharted 4 is gold, and of course the photo that is followed up shows all the files being transferred over to that disc that Neil Druckmann was holding up. And yeah, here is pretty much how big Uncharted 4 appears to be, because they were uploading 11.36 gigabytes out of 45.38 gigabytes. So likelihood is Uncharted 4 will be around 45, maybe slightly more gigabytes, just as a kind of indication of how big the game will be, and maybe how long the game will be, because it seems quite similar in size to The Last of Us Remastered. But yeah, in terms of how big the file is, there you go, around 45 gigabytes. Might be slightly more though when it comes to launching in May. So, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say in terms of what the Twitter accounts. Again, go look on Twitter. You can see loads and loads of different developers tweeting out about it, and they're pretty cool. So, go check them out if you haven't already. One final thing we did want to bring up, of course, and it's kind of obvious, really, when you think about it. I mean, the game has gone gold literally around 2 months before Uncharted 4 is set to be released. Slightly less than 2 months. It's around, I don't know, 1 month and 3 weeks or so. But
it can't come quicker.
Yeah, it can't. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. But even then, it's pretty insane that it's gone that early, kind of in a way. In fact, it's pretty much gone gold on the same day when it was originally meant to come out, of course, on March 18th.
Indeed.
So, I mean, evidently Naughty Dog needed the time to make the game better, because obviously the game was originally meant to come out in April, and that makes sense, so around 4 weeks or so between finishing the game and manufacturing the game. But 6 weeks or so now, it will be for, maybe slightly more, about 7 probably, for developing the manufacturing the disc, basically, which is pretty insane. I mean, I know Sony said that they were, you know, going to have to print more and more, that's why they delayed it, but still pretty crazy, really, to think about it. But let us know your thoughts on that, of course, in the comments. How do you think Uncharted 4 will play out in terms of its manufacturing? Do you think they just needed more time, or at least maybe kind of was like a safety net almost for Naughty Dog to make sure that they had enough time to develop the game if they did run out of time?
That's the way people. That's the way it's looked at most of the time now, though.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. That's true. But maybe as well, it could literally just be that Sony wants to manufacture more discs. But again, let us know that in the comments. Of course, that's always a pretty interesting kind of debate. But with that said, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say, really. I mean, Callum, do you have any final closing thoughts?
No.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, let us know your thoughts, of course, on whether Uncharted 4 is being developed as in terms of manufacturing for such a long time. Why is it 2 months? Let us know your thoughts on that. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. Thank you a lot for watching, of course. Like the video and subscribe if you're already. And bye.
Bye.